This is basic operator training for the PAT 4.0 system. When loading a reel of cable ties, it's important to open the bag properly by using the tear strip. So I'm just going to pull this open here. Okay. Now I'm going to open the zip lock here. Then I'm going to remove the reel of cable ties from the bag. And we want to store this bag for future use. Now I'm going to remove, there's a piece of cardboard on the outside of the reel of cable ties. I'm going to remove that. Now prior to loading the reel, I'm going to take and remove the reel holder. Then take my reel of cable ties, and you always want to make sure that the label is facing out towards you. Slide the reel on the spindle. Okay. Then what you want to do is grab your reel holder and slide it on like so. There's a spring in the back, so I'm going to put a little spring tension on here and tighten my wing nut. Okay. Now we're ready to load. And just to let you know, there is a piece of tape that holds the cable ties. So I'm going to remove that piece of tape and then take my cable ties and slide them in to the dispenser until the ties stop. Once the ties stop, tap the load button one time. Once it successfully takes in one tie, you can let go of the ties here. And there is a ribbon on the top that starts at load 14, this green ribbon. So when I tap the load button, it's actually counting down from 14 down to 0. Once it successfully takes in 14 ties, it says ready on that ribbon on the top. Now you're ready to go. As far as the location of the bundle within the jaws, you don't want to jam the bundle all the way to the throat of the tool, or do you want to put it all the way by the front jaw? You want the bundle somewhat centered in the jaws, and then press and hold the trigger till it completes the cycle. If you don't hold the trigger closed long enough, or the location of the bundle is not correct in the jaws, it may cause a Tiein Tool error, and we'll discuss that later in the video. This is the tip collector on the tool, which can hold up to 300 pieces of cable tie waste. So prior to that, or whenever you notice the tip collector getting full, slide it forward, empty the tie waste in a trash can, and then slide it back on correctly. Also, if you allow the tip collector to get too full, it can cause the tool to jam. This is the scrap bin on the dispenser. We recommend emptying it every half a reel of cable ties or whenever you notice it getting full. All you need to do is lift it up and just dump it in your trash can and then set the scrap bin back on the screws. If the scrap bin gets too full, it can cause the dispenser to jam. When using the tool, it's best to keep the hose as straight as possible. And when you need to put a bend in, avoid trying to put a large bend in the hose, as it can cause Tiein Tool misfeed errors. It is recommended to reverse the hose ends periodically to get even wear on the hose. This can be done every reel of cable ties or with some frequency. Let me demonstrate how to do that. First, I'm going to push the latches in on the hose and remove the hand tool. And then I'm going to do the same on the hose, push the latches in and remove it. Now I've reversed the hose ends. I'm going to slide this in on the dispenser and take the other end and hook it up to the tool, and just make sure you have your electrical connectors lined up properly, snap it together, and it's that easy. One of the most common error messages is Tiein Tool. Let me demonstrate. Okay. I'm going to press the silence button to stop it from beeping. And in order to remove the cable tie, you don't want to pull it in this direction. You always want to pull it forward. And now I'm going to press the back button, and then I'm ready to go. The next most common error message is out of ties. Let me demonstrate. Pull the trigger. And it's actually the display says out of ties. I'm going to press the silence button. As you notice, the reel of cable ties is empty. So what I'm going to do is remove the empty reel of cable ties, put the new reel of cable ties up there, press the back button on the display, and then just load my new reel of cable ties. Finally, if you're getting any errors that you're not familiar with, contact your supervisor.